It started like a nightmare no father ever wants to face, especially not a man who once stared down enemies in a war zone, only to come home blind and powerless. Jake Turner, a decorated veteran who lost his sight in combat, now lived a quiet life in a small town with his 17-year-old daughter, Lily, his world, his reason for breathing. But peace is fragile, and evil doesn't always knock, it roars in on two wheels. When a gang of bikers began showing up outside Lily's school, revving engines like war drums, laughing as they followed her home, Jake's world turned dark in more ways than one. Whispers spread. The townspeople looked away. What could a blind man do against a gang like that? But what they didn't know, what those bikers couldn't have imagined, was that Jake had one final card to play. And with a single, silent phone call, everything changed. This isn't just a story about revenge. It's about love, resilience, and the power of quiet strength. Stay with me, because you won't believe what happened next. The atmosphere grew heavier each passing day. Lily's footsteps became quicker, glances more cautious, heart pounding louder whenever a rumble echoed down the street. Their helmets hid their faces, but their intentions were crystal clear: intimidation, dominance, control. Fear tightened its grip on her chest like a vice every time she spotted their leather jackets outside the diner, their laughter slicing through the silence of early evenings. Jake, seated on the porch with a cane resting beside him, didn't need sight to feel the shift in air. The neighborhood once full of warmth had turned cold. Conversations stopped when he walked past. Neighbors who once brought pies and asked about his service now drew curtains and stayed indoors. Whatever protection small-town life once offered had vanished like fog under morning sun. Inside their home, Lily tried to keep up appearances. She still made his coffee, still asked about his day, still hummed quietly while setting the table. But tremors in her hands, long pauses before answering, told a different story. Jake listened to her silence more than her words. And that silence screamed. He'd trained his mind long ago to handle pressure. He'd faced chaos. He'd endured pain. But this was different. This was personal. And worse, he couldn't see the threat, couldn't defend the only person he had left. That feeling, helplessness, gnawed at his insides, turning each night into a battle. One evening, after hearing muffled sobs behind Lily's locked door, he sat alone in the dark, breath measured, jaw tight. The weight of powerlessness had become unbearable. That night, his fingers searched a drawer he hadn't opened in years. Beneath old photographs and medals, he found a small device, a number written in permanent ink underneath the lid. He'd hoped never to use it. But hope was a luxury he could no longer afford. He dialed without hesitation. The line clicked. A long pause followed before a deep voice finally spoke, calm but alert. Jake gave a name, said few words. He didn't ask for vengeance. He didn't explain the details. He didn't need to. The silence on the other end meant it was already understood. The following afternoon, strange men arrived in town, not loud, not flashy. No one saw them come.